we have the great opportunity to get an insight into the situation before Dimitri Αβραμόπουλος has to go on. And I would like to start asking by the thing that you mentioned on your speech, that after Corona and other issues, that tourism is one of the first industries which strike on and succeed. So could you enlighten me and us, why is this? Why is tourism such?
It is not only related to COVID. Whenever there are crises or wars, the day after, there is a rapid recovery on everything. We have all read history. This is what happened after the Second World War. This is what has happened many times. Well, whether it is in a pandemic or a war, it's the same. Then people move forward. The industry is moving forward. Economy is going up. So it is true, and what we experience today in countries like Greece, for instance, and many other countries, it's a boom of tourist development. Not only in the field of visitors, but also in investments on tourism. I can tell you that Greece has become one of the most attractive countries right now for investments. There's a huge interest around the world. And I hope this will be positive, both for tourism and for our country, of course. But I'm not here to represent my country. I do it for the last 32 years. I'm here to share some experiences we have acquired throughout all these years. I have to pay tribute to my friend Abul Fas, with whom we met, how many years? 24 years ago, when I visited for the first time Azerbaijan. He was Minister of Tourism. I was Minister of Tourism, and we established not only a good and strong friendship, but on the other hand, we shared some ideas of how can we move forward. Now, what's happening today? Answering to your question. It is exactly after not only COVID crisis, economic crisis, refugee crisis. The whole world is shocked by what has happened. So what I mentioned in my remarks is exactly that the aftershock period is always a great opportunity for people to move, to travel, and on this they can build better relations, not only among them, but also among countries, and where your sector, the private sector, can do a lot. We live in the era of human mobility, I told before. Right now, millions of people are on the move. What they want to do? What do they want to do? First of all, to discover new civilizations, new people, and to start building up from the bottom of the society better relations among people.
Thank you. Excellent. Still, when you're on the stage, so if I may direct the second question directly to you as well, before I talk with the others. This resilience, where does it actually come from? What are the reasons that why tourism industry is so flexible and agile to seize the opportunities? Where does it come from?
It is also the exit of all these impasses who are inherited by the past in general. Tourism is one of the main factors of growth. Tourism, on the other hand, is a tool in our hands in order to create a better and more cohesive and more inclusive society. I said in the beginning, during my remarks, and it was mentioned also by other speakers, that it is important to introduce tourism diplomacy. Because, as I told you when we are there, governments cannot do it very easily. The private sector can play a role. Countries, states suffer from what we can call state sclerosis, on whenever they have to make a decision to open doors of communication, better understanding, and mutual respect. Upon that, culture is playing a very important role. Eco-friendly policies, they are directly linked to tourism. Tourism is defined by 3 factors: culture, development, which is also very important, and environment. This is the basis of the new doctrine for tourism. And I finish up by telling you something else that has to do with Europe. I was expecting to see my friend Gigi Kostas, who is the new Commissioner for Tourism and Transports. What Europe is lacking today, let's hope that they will make it in the future. Europe is lacking a common agenda on tourism. They all believed in the past that tourism is an area, a field of competition. With Abulfaz and you, we were saying before, that it is exactly the opposite. It is an area where we can do things together without being influenced by other prejudices. There is no competition. For someone who is coming to visit, for instance, Mediterranean, he wants to see if he comes from Asia, from Latin America. He wants to visit at the same time the Vatican, Istanbul, Athens, and the pyramids. So the pie, from an economic point of view, is very big. So why don't we share? And I come to a very good example. I was telling that before. When I was Minister of Tourism, I had deployed the so-called tourism diplomacy. So I invited my friend, my colleague from Turkey, and they said, okay, let's do something in order to prove that finally the distances between the countries are not real, are not geographical, are psychological. I'm talking for all neighborhoods in the world. And we started organizing big events every 6 months, the same day, in Turkey and in Greece. In the morning, we were visiting on the island of Samos, and in the evening, just opposite to Kusadasi. And it worked. But through that, we managed to open new doors of communication. And of course, from an economic point of view, the Greek islands, this year, they received more than 2 million tourists from Turkey, who contributed in the growth and in the rise of the GDP of all these islands. But it is the same also at the governmental, at the states level. So coming back to Brussels, Europe has to move forward. Otherwise, there's no need to talk about common tourism policy, especially now that tourism is linked to all the other areas of our cooperation.
Thank you for an excellent answer. Maybe I can address the next question already.
But before, can I apologize? I have to catch a flight.
Yes.
And since we are talking about aviation security, but we have to talk also about passenger security. I don't have to be sorry. We'll miss your company. Thank you very much for having me here. Glad to see old friends and new friends. And count always on my support, especially in this very good initiative that you have undertaken during the last 20 years. Thank you very much for hosting me as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Timothy.